Go for the years. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
I even bought a new broom. And I don't even get to use it. What the hell, man? Welcome into the show. My name is Marc Farzetta. This is the JAKIB Media Colony Pools and Power Washing Phillies Postgame show, and I am perturbed. I am very much perturbed at the way this game played out. Phillies got a couple of big hits in this ball game, a couple of solo home runs, but then really could not get the big hit to put him over the top. Many opportunities. Trey Turner had an opportunity. Trey Turner now would help this team win. And the Phillies fall 4-3 to the Houston Astros. They fail to break out the brooms before heading to Los Angeles for a 3-game series with the Dodgers. The Phillies, unfortunately, lose this ball game tonight. Colony Pools brings us this fine post-game show each and every game. Win and save this baseball season with our friends at Colony Pools and Power Washing. Let the experts get rid of the ugly green algae and the mold off your roof, off your siding, and off your deck. They service Delaware, Delco, and Chester counties. Call them now at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250. Bailey Falter did not have a good game today. Bailey Falter in all got charged for 4 runs, all of them earned, giving up 8 hits in 4 1/3 innings of work. He also issued 3 walks in this game while striking out 3. I really liked it in, I believe it was that first inning when he just couldn't throw a strike for 8 straight pitches. That was pretty impressive. That's hard to do. You know what else is hard to do? Trey Turner swing and miss at 3 consecutive fastballs, just like he did yesterday, as a matter of fact, in that first inning. That's hard to do, to be someone like Trey Turner and swing and miss at 3 straight fastballs. That's hard to do when he's done it in back-to-back games. He's also gotten hits in back-to-back games, and in both those games, they were bloops. So sure, you could say a centimeter in any other direction, and maybe it's a home run, but they're not. They're little bloops. Centimeter in another direction. You know what else they are? Outs. And he's got nothing to show for this series against the Houston Astros. So really, I look at Bailey Falter's performance tonight, and I look at Trey Turner tonight. And Brandon Marsh is a good center fielder. 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, he's going to come up with that baseball where he goes into the slide, and he can't come up with it, unfortunately. It just bounces around his mitt and then falls out, and then ended up biting the Phils in the ass as the game went on. And yes, it was during Kyle Schwarber's in-game interview, which I still find odd. I enjoy them, but I find them extremely odd. Let's start it off with Bailey Falter, who really did not have anything going his way tonight, unfortunately, for the Phils. He really struggled. This was even worse than what we saw in his last 3 starts, where he has allowed 3 runs. He's gone 6 innings or 7 innings in those last 2 starts, but this start was just his worst by far of the season. It felt like, especially with the inability to locate his fastball. And they were showing the pitches as the game was going on. It was just fastball, and he couldn't locate it. Everything was either high and away or high and inside, or they just couldn't get a strike. They had a mound conference going there in that first inning. He gets the lead. He lets the Pena lead off with a single to center field. Bregman walks. Then Alvarez comes up to the plate, and they have a mound conference, him and JT Realmuto. Bailey Falter and JT. JT wants to go out there after the walk to Bregman and calm down his pitcher because it was 4 straight pitches that were terrible. And then he ends up walking Alvarez. So that really didn't do much. Then Abreu steps up to the plate, and that's where he gets the RBI on the double play. So you think to yourself, all right, this could be good. This could be a nice little thing here for Bailey Falter to get out of a jam, allowing just 1 run. He ended up doing that as Tucker ends up flying out to end the inning to right field. It was a 26-pitch first inning for Bailey Falter. Not a lot of those were in the strike zone. A lot of the pitches that were taken, now in the strike zone. And Bailey Falter did not get things started off well. So, nonetheless, he limits the damage. Okay? He limits the damage. It's a 1-0 ball game. Phillies do respond in the bottom half of that inning. Nick Castellanos leads off the inning, flying out to center field. Great play by Jake Meyers. Really had a long way to run for it. He got there. He really was making plays all day long in center field for the Astros. Then with 2 outs, after Brandon Marsh flew out to right field, JT Realmuto stepped up. He got a sweeper, the old 81-mile-per-hour sweeper from Urquidy, and he just lunged it out over the plate and belts it over the left field wall. It wasn't crushed, it wasn't smashed, but it was far enough to be gone, and that's all that really matters. So he belts that one out of the ballpark. The Phillies are up, Phillies have tied it up at this point 1-1. I want to say this because the angle of this was incredible. The umpire cam, which I know they've been using on Sunday Night Baseball, the ump cam is awesome. It wasn't so great for the Phillies type, but on this particular home run by JT Realmuto, where it was tied 1-1, I was really enjoying it because you really got to appreciate just how far JT Realmuto was lunging out across the plate to try to make contact with that sweeper, and he swept it on out of the ballpark, which was great. So the Phillies tie the game after the second inning there. It's 1-1. Bottom of the second inning. Kyle Schwarber has the in-game interview. I enjoy the in-game interview. I like the in-game interview. I just find it hilarious that the in-game interview is a thing. Like, you're literally working. I know it's baseball. There's a lot of downtime. And I'll tell you this, I love it in the All-Star games. In the All-Star games, it's fantastic. They bounce that microphone around, the earpiece around, everyone's talking, everyone's getting interviewed during the game. I love it. But there's something about Kyle Schwarber, and when somebody's playing in a game that matters, that I don't really like the in-game interview. Like when they interview the managers, a lot of the times, the managers are getting interviewed in between innings. All right, or Trey Turner getting interviewed before the game. Like, that's cool. I like that. But the in-game interview is like, shouldn't you be working right now and concentrating on something else? Anyway, that's my little pet peeve. So anyway, while Schwarber's being interviewed, and it didn't have any effect on him on the play. He wasn't going to get there. If Brandon Marsh isn't getting there, Kyle Schwarber's not getting there either. So Brandon Marsh goes over there. It's the leadoff. It's the first play of the inning. Hensley's stepping at the plate. He hits the ball to the left center gap. Brandon Marsh makes a great play, gets a great read, great jump, belts, starts really, booking it over there, goes into a slide, goes down, goes to catch the ball, bounces out of his mitt. 99 times out of 100, he's making that play. And this was just for the instance he couldn't make the play. So then you lead off with a double. Meyer steps up. He gets a strikeout. So Falter was able to step up, getting back-to-back strikeouts. He also struck out Ben. And then Maldonado stepped to the plate, and Maldonado hit a ground rule double to right center field. You end up scoring that run with Hensley, and then the Astros take a 2-1 lead. Then things kind of settled down there for a while until the fourth inning when Myers had a leadoff home run, or excuse me, a second at bat of the game, or the inning. Myers has the home run. Now all of a sudden it's 3-1 in favor of the Astros. Bottom of the fifth, you respond well with Clemens' home run. Now it's 3-2, stays a 1-run ball game. And in the fifth inning, it was all Falter really had there. Again, walks Bregman. They give up an infield single to Alvarez, who just hit it down the third base line with nobody there because they're doing the modern-day shift, unfortunately. Abreu then steps up, and you get him to pop out to the shortstop, which is great because now you're at a spot where at least you got one out. All right, you got one out. You're trying to see your way out of this. You had runners at that point at first and second, okay? Abreu pops out. Then Tucker steps up and he hits the RBI bloop single to left field. A run scores. Falter goes out. Brogdon comes in, and Brogdon's able to get out of the inning, but the damage had been done. It's now 4-2 in favor of the Astros. As the game went on, you just saw more and more struggles at the plate from Trey Turner. He's now hitting 260 on the season. The Phillies are not paying for 260 on the season, okay? The Phillies are paying for a 300 batting average, a 360 on base percentage. Like, I know the money says that he should really hit like 360 with like a 420 on base percentage, but I just don't see that happening. But they're sure as hell not paying for 260. He just looks lost at the plate. He later got the bloop single, fine. And it was the second in as many days. But Trey, did somebody give him a heavier bat? He just seems like his timing is way off. I don't know what it is. While I'm seeing other guys make these great adjustments and do really well at the plate, I'm seeing Trey Turner not at all be the guy that the Phillies paid for. Never. April goes in the books. April's already in the books, considering it's the end of this game. Okay, so May 1st, all right? Phillies are, and I hope he figures it out in Los Angeles and exacts revenge on the Dodgers for whatever reason. It might be extra added motivation to beat up on the Dodgers a little bit. I don't know. But Trey Turner has not been the guy that was advertised here in Philly. The guy that Bryce Harper was talking about last year in the booth, just before he came off his injured list stint, he was in the booth, as we all remember, with Tom McCarthy and everybody, and he's up there, and they're talking about, hey, who's your favorite baseball player to watch? And he's like, Trey Turner. And it was like right then and there, I was like, make a mental note, everybody. Trey Turner's going to be on the Phillies. The Trey Turner with the cool slide, the World Series champion, the all-star, the guy that can steal your bases, the guy that can get on base, the guy that can draw some walks, the guy that can get some hits for you, the guy that can hit with pop. Oh, and he goes there to the World Baseball Classic as well. And man, he's just hitting dingers left and right. Not so much this year for the Phillies, unfortunately. I'm still waiting for that Trey Turner to show up. But seeing him last night in the first inning hack at 3 straight fastballs and swing and miss at 3 straight fastballs, and then again see him tonight, most notably see him come to the plate in that 7th inning when it was still a 4-2 ball game. There's 2 outs in the inning, granted. But Sosa steps up, he gets you a single to right field. Stott steps up, he gets a single to left field. So you have runners on first and second, 2 outs. Trey Turner stepping to the plate. Now's the time to make your mark. Now's the time to come up with a big hit. And that wasn't the case. Struck out on 3 straight fastballs, all of them away, mind you, and each time maybe climbing the zone by an inch or 2 per pitch. The third one definitely was a ball. That one was at his shoulders, shouldn't have swung at it, but he was already gearing up to try to make contact for that fastball. And if there was going to be an instance, by the way, where you're going to be gearing up to hit fastballs, and Bryson Stott did the same thing. He tried jumping on a fastball because all Montero was throwing was 96, 97, 98 mile per hour fastballs. That's all he was throwing. So in that instance, the batter goes up there, sitting fastball, trying to jump on one. Stott had a pitch after Sosa's single, and it was a great pitch to hit. The classic middle in, you put a good swing on that. All you got to do is make contact, and that ball, if you put the good swing on it, is over the right field wall. And the next thing you know, this ball game would be tied. Stott just missed it. Ended up fouling it away. He later gets the single, so then you get the first and second situation with 2 outs, and then Turner, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, you're out. All swings, all misses from Trey Turner. Game goes on to the 8th inning. Real Muto is able to get you not an RBI because it was I don't know if they changed it yet, but it ended up being an error on Bregman. You had Schwarber lead off the inning with a walk. Then Castellanos ended up popping out or grounding out to the shortstop. Schwarber goes to second on that play. No play at second base, so they couldn't turn 2. Marsh ends up striking out, looking it was a bad call. No doubt about it. But as always, you got to protect the plate on the close calls. Real Muto then hit the sharp ground ball to Bregman at third, who couldn't handle it, went right under his mitt. Schwarber ended up coming around from second base to score, so then it was a 1-run ball game. 9th inning, Cody Clemens, he's got 2 home runs in his last 2 games. He strikes out. Sosa grounds out to shortstop. Stott grounds out to shortstop as well, and that was the ball game. From jump, you saw Bailey Falter didn't have the good stuff. Bailey Falter didn't even have the mediocre stuff in this game. Yeah, a couple of settling in innings, fine. You ate up a couple more, but you left your bullpen in a bad spot. Brogdon was lucky enough to get out of it. And then the bats, yes, the home runs, you got 2 home runs. Great to see home runs. But when nobody's on base, that is a wee bit of a problem. And it certainly was tonight. Phillies tonight, the dreaded RISP. 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And looking at this game, the 4th inning, that's the bloop single from Trey Turner. After he has the bloop single, Schwarber steps up and he walks in that 4th inning. So again, you now have runners on first and second with nobody out. Castellanos ends up flying out to the center fielder. Again, Myers just all over the place tonight. Marsh ends up flying out to center as well. And then Real Muto made the final out of the inning, and that was it. The threat was gone. So many times in this game, you put runners in scoring position and just, again, could not get that big hit. Even the time they scored that wasn't a home run. It wasn't even a hit. It was on an error. So even Real Muto in that instance has to take the offer in that regard. As far as guys that came up the most, Real Muto was 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Castellanos 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Brandon Marsh 0 for 2 as well. I will say this, though. I give it to the bullpen, man. If you got to talk about one bright spot from this Phillies, hey, look, getting home runs from Cody Clemens is fantastic. Okay, well, let's hope that keeps on going. Let's keep on keeping on, all right? But bullpen being completely giving complete shutdown performances has been fantastic to watch. And Gregory Soto is just off the charts. Connor Brogdon has had a little bit of struggles, but settled in great. Did a great job tonight. Got you an inning and 2/3 before giving the ball to Soto. And then Ortiz came in and gave up one hit, but really was great in that short frame there in the 8th inning. But really, this bullpen has been, again, one of the best in baseball. 14 games now of sub-0 ERA. They're about I think a 0.56 ERA at this point over the last 14 games, and they are absolutely dealing. And there's no better example. I mean, Jose Alvarado's been great, but Gregory Soto has really turned it on since that opening series of the season against the Texas Rangers. He has just simply been fantastic. This is something to build on. All right, the Phillies, even though they don't get the sweep, they still win their 4th straight series. They won 4 games in a row going into this game today. And I think one of the things to keep in mind is that last year, if you remember, the Phillies did not win 5 games in a row until the 2nd week of June. They broke out of April, just barely 500, I believe it was. Phillies now, a little in a game over 500, okay. But the Phillies right now really took a long time to figure out how they were going to get things done when it came to what was going to happen with this bullpen and what was going to happen with this lineup as far as runners in scoring position and just the way guys were going to come out and really, dominate. If they were going to come out and dominate as hitters, if they're going to come out and dominate as starting pitchers, whether or not they're going to come out and dominate as bullpen arms. And the one thing that you could constantly say now, especially over the last really 3 weeks of the season, the most important thing has been that this Phillies team has done a phenomenal job as a bullpen. We had a lot of questions. We have seen remakes before. This remake seems to have worked beautifully. When you look at new guys, for instance, like Alvarado and Brogdon, we know what they bring to the table. But seeing guys like Gregory Soto, seeing guys like Ortiz come in and handle their business and be right there on par with what we have seen from Alvarado. What we have seen this year from the, I'll say, settled in Sir Anthony Dominguez, that was a little shaky. And, of course, injuries played a big part in that. But what we have seen from these guys coming in, Craig Kimbrell being one of them, have been guys that have steadied that ship. In close games like this, I'm not afraid to see the manager of the Phillies, Rob Thompson, come out and make the call to the pen. Like, usually what happens a lot of times, as we all know as Phillies fans, is you see the call to the pen and you immediately go, well, this has gone terrible. How can we make it worse? Let's bring in the bullpen. Now I look at the bullpen, and I have a lot of confidence in what these guys have done, and it certainly wasn't their fault tonight that the Phillies couldn't come up with the big hit. It certainly wasn't their fault tonight that the Phillies couldn't come away with the sweep in this series against the Houston Astros. Certainly not their fault. You're going to go through spells of this throughout the season, as we all know, and to be pissed off about not completing a sweep against the World Series champion, the team that took away the World Series from you, certainly grinds your gears a little bit. But to look at it as they took 2 or 3 from the Astros, they're in the midst of this road trip that they're going to complete out there in LA before coming home. And hopefully at that point, you're just talking about a team that is consistently going to stay over the 500 mark. This is a good sign for the Phils. The fact that they have won 4 straight series, the fact that they did win 4 in a row again, and the fact that they look like they're starting to find some semblance of consistency. And one of the other guys that we haven't talked about nearly enough, and he certainly came through for the Phils with another home run tonight, by the way, is JT Realmuto. This is a guy in JT Realmuto that's now hitting 281 on the season. Just a couple of weeks ago, you were seeing JT Realmuto. First off, he got demoted in the lineup with Brandon Marsh playing so well, hitting so well. They decided to put JT Realmuto back up there, or excuse me, down a peg in the order to bat 6 as opposed to 5th. We're looking at a guy now over the last couple of weeks of the season that has seen his average go from 200, 2 weeks ago, to now 281. And at one point getting up to 283. This is an 80-point average boost in the last 2 weeks of the season. Started out cold, ice cold, and now has become red hot. And for himself, it's great to see what he has done. And with the home run tonight, he extended his small hitting streak to 5 games. So that's a nice sign to see from JT Realmuto. But as I said last year, and that was with Bryce Harper in the lineup still, before Bryce Harper got hurt, JT Realmuto is kind of the unsung hero of this team. We say he's the best catcher in baseball. He is the best catcher in baseball. I do believe that. But when he is not playing at that extreme high level, whether it be at the plate or whether it be at the plate or behind it, this Phillies team really sputters. And I feel like they really go as he goes. When Bryce Harper comes back, we'll see what version of Bryce Harper he gets. And look, it could happen as early as Tuesday, which is just nuts. Absolutely nuts that's when he could come back. But I think it's going to take him a minute to find his groove. I don't think this is a guy that's going to come in and he's going to hit, and all of a sudden he's going to be incredible. He's going to be MVP form, and I don't think that's happening. And I know he's not getting minor league stints. Okay, that's great. That's fine. I'm happy to see him in the Phillies lineup whenever it is that he does join the Phillies, and hopefully it is as early and as Tuesday. But even with Bryce Harper in the lineup, he tends to be the guy that can be ice cold or fiery red hot. With JT Realmuto, you just need him to play his normal brand of baseball, and this team just excels. And you certainly saw it in the second half of last year. You certainly saw it after the All-Star break. You certainly saw it after the trip to Toronto that he didn't go on. Whatever happened there where he wasn't in Toronto, he became the best catcher in baseball again after that. And this Phillies team, because you know there's going to be a point where Bryce Harper gets hot. I'm very confident, as down as I am on Trey Turner right now. I hope everyone who has watched Trey Turner over the course of his career realizes that there's a much better brand of baseball from Trey Turner, and I am a lot more confident that we're going to see that brand of baseball from him in the not too distant future. But as of right now, it's okay to be down on the guy. I mean, what are you supposed to be inspired by a guy like him hitting 260? That's no good. You don't want to see that. That's terrible for him. I don't look at it as a Nick Castellanos type. Trey Turner's been a far more consistent player than Nick Castellanos throughout his career. So I can look at a little dry spell from Trey Turner. Even in the dry spell, he still managed to get 2 hits. All right. But seeing him not be able to come up in the clutch for the Phillies, that is troublesome. But when you see guys like Harper come back in this lineup and establish himself again and find his groove, and you see a guy like JT Realmuto hit consistently as he has over the last 2 weeks of the season, and then Nick Castellanos continue to bring what he has brung you so far this year, I think it's going to be, again, continued success for the Phillies. It's not going to be the thing that we're constantly banging our heads against the wall where they win 4 in a row, they lose 4 in a row. They win 5 in a row, they just lost 7 in a row. I don't think we're going to go through those spells of inconsistency as we have seen. And the Phillies have now gone quite a while without losing back-to-back games. I mentioned the numbers for you guys yesterday as far as, the 4 straight series wins and all that, how great that is. But the Phillies haven't lost back-to-back games since April 12th and April 13th when they did lose 2 of 3 to the Marlins. And that was actually a 3-game losing streak because they lost 2 of 3 there to end that series. And then they lost the first game of that 4-game series that they had in Cincinnati. But bottom line is I see this Phillies team regaining that consistency. And unfortunately tonight, just despite the opportunities, couldn't come up with the big hits. Let me see what you guys got to say in the chat. What's going on, chat? Wally, what's up, Wally? Go Birds. On a night like tonight, very appropriate. James, what's up, James? That's why never good to go all out at times. Oh, you mean spending? No? All right. Barbara, what's up? Phillies lost surprise. There's a show. I don't know why I find that so funny, but I find it funny. Ray! What's up, Ray? He feels like is that supposed to be Castellanos? He got the big paycheck and is trying too hard. He'll get it going. I liked Ray. That could very well be it as far as Trey Turner goes. Got the big payday. It was a big payday. And now it's just a matter of maybe gripping the bat a little too tight. I think he'll settle in nicely. Does Bailey Falter have the good stuff? He did not have the good stuff tonight. That's for sure. And Ranger Suarez will be back before we know it. I think the Phillies now say Matt Strahm will go back in the bullpen, or I think it was reported Matt Strahm will go back into the bullpen and then just be a guy that you'll see in a lot more games. So at least there's that. This bullpen is going to get better. Let's put it that way. Ranger Suarez will be your beepo pop fourth starter. Bailey Falter will be your fifth starter. The whole National League as a whole is pretty bad, so the Phillies will be alive all year. Barbara, you're not wrong on that. Where are we at right now? Some little Sunday Night Baseball action. Let's go ahead and check the standings way too early in the season. I say way too early. We did it last night. Where are we right now in the S? Okay, 3 games out of first place. Gosh. Phillies are 4 games out of first place now. 29 games in this season. Phillies 4 games out. How do you make that up? What's the magic number of the Braves? Braves are in first place. 3 up on the Mets and the Marlins and 4 up on the Phillies. Washington Nationals 8 games out of first place. Oh, wait, you know what? I bet you this means our wild card standings took a hit. Oh, pots and pans. Don't look. Oh, it's a bloodbath. Oh, God. Phillies are, let's see here. Hold on. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the Brewers are solidified, and they're 2.5 games up on everybody else. The Mets, Marlins, Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Cubs, Padres, and Phillies are all right there, man, within a game or in. That's nail-biting drama. That's nail-biting drama here in April. Andrew Painter loss is huge. Robert, I do not disagree with you at all. You are 1 billion% accurate. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow night where the Phillies play in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Bring your PJs, folks. Going to be a late one. We're going to be on with you guys around 1 a.m. That'll be a fun one. Taijuan Walker gets the start against Tony Gonsolin, so we'll see how that goes. Gonsolin is, he hasn't really done much there. He has made just 1 start on the season, and he went 3 innings, 3 1/3 innings, allowing 2 hits, 3 walks. Not so good for him. And then, of course, we got Taijuan Walker on the hill for the Phillies, so that'll be exciting. Right? Guys, that'll be exciting. We'll be excited. We'll be excited to see that. Right? Everyone's excited? No? No one's excited? Okay. Taijuan Walker, though, in case you missed it, for his last time out there. 4 innings, 5 runs. Not excited. No one's excited. Not excited at all. So we'll see if he can pitch better than that. And he has, for the most part. Anyway, I'll be up with you watching all that. So we'll have some fun. Thanks for watching. Alex Schmidt produced the program. Did a wonderful job, as per usual. Don't forget about our great friends at Colony Pools and Power Washing. Let Colony Pools and Power Washing bring your home back to life for the summer of 2023. Give our sponsor for the entire baseball season a call at 302-762-2250. If you're tired of seeing green algae stains on your roof and you live in Delco, Chester, or in the state of Delaware, let Colony pressure wash your house and take the pressure off you. Be back with you guys tomorrow, where hopefully the Phillies won't lose 2 in a row for the first time since, mid-April. See you guys tomorrow. Go Phils. See ya.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wow, wow, wow.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.